if by them keeping silent, that's a sin of omission, or by them criticizing this action, they're showing their cards. They're showing that these guys are as pro-abortion, pro-death, pro-infanticide as they get. It doesn't get any worse than this. I mean, this is a baby born alive. By the way, Barack Obama, when he was a senator, he also voted against this as well. Most people don't know that.
Yeah. Who would vote for this? How sick and twisted and demonic would you be? All abortion is disgusting. And I can understand people like, well, first trimester or whatever. I understand why they think that, even though I'm 100% opposed to them on that. I believe from the moment of conception, when the sperm and egg meet, all the way up past birth, that is a human person. You cannot murder a human person. But who would look at an injured infant that has come from his mother's womb, still breathing, moving, and they would vote in favor of killing that innocent little human person? That's demonic.
On a natural level, they have a malformed, deformed, misinformed, uninformed conscience. And the Catechism says you're guilty. If you're a Catholic, you're guilty. You're culpable of having a malformed conscience. It's on you on Judgment Day. Now, we could even get a little bit. It could also be diabolical. 2 Corinthians 4:4. St. Paul talks about the fact that the devil blinds the minds of the unbelievers, and they're not able to see the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so, there's also a blinding effect to this by the diabolical. But it's their fault, because they willfully refuse to form their moral conscience according to the Word of God, if they're Catholics.
I got into a discussion once with a liberal Novus Ordo Catholic priest, and he said, well, Thomas Aquinas says you must follow your conscience. And I said, yeah, Father, Thomas Aquinas taught that we must form our conscience in accord with natural law and divine revelation. We all have a moral responsibility to do that. A person can't come into that priest confessional and say, I want to have an abortion, or I want to do contraception, or I want to marry someone of the same sex, and the priest say, follow your conscience. The priest is supposed to nurture souls with divine faith and teach them, well, the church, Christ teaches this. You must form your conscience. We live in 2020 where people can Google a catechism and say, well, should I have an abortion or not have an abortion? I better form my conscience and figure out what God teaches about this. It's not like you have to get on a ship and sail to a different continent to find a catechism that was written by a monk or something and read it in Latin. We have searches. People are preparing this material to form people's consciences.
There's no excuse at this point. I could see like a 9th century Africa, 11th century Alaska, 6th century Brazil. Right now, any Catholic who's a low information Catholic and doesn't know that it's wrong to kill a baby, it's because they willfully don't want to know. And that's a sin of omission, and they're guilty because they're failing to refuse to form their moral conscience according to the Word of God.
Yeah. How often, Jesse, has Joe Biden been around Catholic priests, archbishops, cardinals, and let me just say it, Jesse, been around Pope Francis. He's been around all these people, and you're trying to tell me out there that Joe Biden, in his conscience, is not formed enough to know that voting for abortion and funding Planned Parenthood in America is a mortal sin? He'd been at this for 47 years in politics and hanging around with priests and Jesuits and popes and all that. He doesn't know.
Well, again, those prelates, Taylor, are going to be guilty of the sin of omission. And in Ezekiel chapter 3, the prophet talks about, if you don't warn the wicked man, his blood will be on you.
That's right.
Ezekiel's very strong about that, because all of us as Catholics, but especially the bishops and priests and the Holy Father, the Pope, they're called to be the watchmen of the new Israel. They're supposed to blow, the ram's horns and warn us when the enemy's coming and batten down the hatches and get ready to fight, get ready for watchmen on the walls, and a lot of those watchmen are allowing these barbarians to come inside to the new Israel, like Joe Biden, like Kamala Harris. These are barbarians coming in. They're not coming in with military weapons. They're coming in with intellectual and political weapons, which are much more dangerous to the lay faithful, especially the faithful that are just growing, the neophytes in the faith. It's dangerous to make a neophyte Catholic just coming into the church believe that you can vote for a pro-abortion politician. It's dangerous.
That's right. And here we have Joe Biden running for president. And I can count on half the fingers on this hand, Jesse Romero, of bishops who have given any admonition with regard to what he represents as a so-called, he says, devout Catholic. Where are the bishops? There's priests like Father Altman. But what happened to Father Altman, Jesse? Did they make him Monsignor when he put out that good video? Is he now Monsignor Altman?
He should get a red hat. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Cardinal Altman. No, he is disgraced. Go back to your basement, Altman. That's what's going on with him.